jump right into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It is going to be a good one today. Like I said, we're going to be covering the Trump statements that he made on the war with Iran and how all of that is really going to work, right? So again, we're jumping right into it. It's going to be a good show tonight, and let's dive right in. Again, what do you guys think? Did you guys already watch it? Do you guys already watch the event? This is the first time I'm really watching it. I found a few clips on X, and that was pretty much it. So you guys tell me, what are you guys seeing? Hold on, let me make sure we're still going live here. Sure we're all good. 1 second. Always got to check this before we start. Okay. Match screen, properties. All right. Okay, are we good? I think we're good. All right, let's dive right in. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully March 11th, 2026 wasn't too crazy for you, but we're diving right in. Let's get into the content, and I'm excited to get started. Let's see what Trump has to say. This is where it all begins. This is where it all comes down to. Looks like most of the people in the comments section are not for this war, by the way. Looks like a lot of the people in the comments section are not down for this war. They're not looking forward to it.
Special. Hello, Kentucky. I love Kentucky. I love Kentucky. We won in a landslide. We won by so much. We have the all-time record in these things. But it's great to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth with so many proud, hardworking, unbelievable American patriots. Thank you.
Yep.
And we're here today with the men and women of a phenomenal company that has been helping Kentucky grow and prosper for 6 incredible decades. In other words, they've been here for a long time, versed logistics.
What do you guys think about the event and the highlights that you may have already seen? This is the first you're watching it. This is the first I'm kind of watching it. And then we're going to go look at some highlights that I kind of clipped up on X after this.
If they didn't, I wouldn't be here, probably. I don't think I'd be here.
I heard somebody passed out at this event. That's why I kind of wanted to watch this also, is I heard somebody passed out. Apparently it was this lady right here. I guess we're going to find out throughout the speech.
Walk off this stage right now. With your help, this family-owned business has risen from a small trucking operation into a juggernaut of warehousing, packaging, one of the biggest, transportation, all these big labels they put on. But I'll tell you, America's favorite brands right here, and this has been an unbelievable group of people that built this wonderful company, and I want to thank them very much. It's an honor.
Yep. Making his statements, making the rounds.
And like
thanking those executives.
Kentucky, you do it with skill and precision and pride, using equipment stamped with those beautiful words, made in the USA. Do you remember? Made in the USA. We're putting it all over the place.
Yeah.
And we're making more and more things in the USA, more than we ever had. More people are working today in the USA than at any time in the history of our country.
Need more of that. They should be American citizens, not illegals.
Do we have a great military?
Do we have a great military? Yes, we do, but I don't think they want to be fighting this war. They want to be fighting the actual enemy, Israel.
I didn't know that we're going to have to be showing it off so much, to be honest with you. I built it. In my first term, we built this military, and I didn't know that we'd have to use it quite as much as we're using it, but we're using it well, and there's no better military. There's nobody even close, so we're very proud of it.
By the end of this war, I don't know, though. I don't know so much.
So we have, in this company,
Iran might win this war by attrition.
Employees, and they pour out their sweat and their soul into shipping the products America knows and loves, and they're doing more business than they've ever done before. And thanks to the record-setting tax cuts that we passed in the great, big, beautiful bill, biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. Tax cuts. You know, as I grew up, I'd watch politicians and I'd always hear that, we're going to cut your taxes, cut your taxes. This is the first group of opponents. It's the first group, the Democrats. They're always saying, we're going to raise your taxes. Historically, a politician
He's talking about the rich,
has
though.
to. Ideally, you're going to follow through. But you have to say, we're cutting taxes. They say, we're going to raise that. They were going to give you, if they won, Kamala and Joe, Sleepy Joe.
See, they still want you to think that there's two sides, and there's not. There's actually left versus right. No, it's good versus evil. It is the people versus the elites.
Saying, are they really saying this? I don't know. What do I know about politics? I haven't been doing it that long. But they were going to give you the biggest tax cut, and now again, the midterms are coming. They want to raise your taxes higher than you've ever had before. We have to win. The midterms are going to be very, very important to keep it going.
See, as somebody who voted for Trump twice, it's just like, where's the incentive, though? Like, we're not getting our mass deportations. We're not getting anything that we really voted for. Trump is a Democrat now. He's really only serving Democrat policies, in my opinion. He's completely shifted.
$10 million into expanding its operations this year right here. $10 million. And you're buying brand new tractor trailers and opening up warehouses in 2 additional states, Texas and North Carolina. And that's what it's all about. And that's why we did it. And with the help of our tax cuts, all of those trucks and warehouses and equipment purchases, everything that we're doing, and everything that you see in this country that's being built, you get what's called expensing, meaning a deduction in the first year. 1 year, it's the bit. Now, to a lot of people, that doesn't mean. To me, it means something else. It means jobs. That's why we have so many jobs, the best jobs ever. Perhaps most
I think a lot of this is going to be, again, most of Trump's statements lately are really going to be his typical rally speech, you know, hyping everything up, saying that it's better than it is. And again, I mean, unfortunate but true.
Whoever thought that was going to happen? That means every extra hour you work, your overtime pay is now 100% tax-free. You have no tax. Remember that when you go and vote, because the Democrats want to end it. So you take home 20 or 30% more to those beautiful children, whoever the hell you're bringing it home to, okay? I don't know who you're bringing it home to. I don't want to know. That's not my business, although it could be interesting. After so many years of politicians who sold out the working men
a lot
and
of
women
politicians
our
sold out,
country,
that's for sure.
We finally have a president
like
who
you,
puts
Trump.
American workers first.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for it, but these are just words. You know, where's the action? We need to see action behind Trump's words.
With us today are the front row Joes. You know, they have followed me. What are you up to? About 350 rallies, right? 350 rallies. I don't know what the hell they do. I don't know where they get their money, but they follow me a lot. We have a lot of people. They just like a tour. But they're front row Joes. They're like professionals at getting on the front row. Thank you. And there's a lot of them, too. Thank you very much. Great honor. So a short time ago, under a man named Sleepy Joe Biden, has anyone heard of?
So now it's time for the blame game. Trump's going to blame everything on Biden, pretty much. Typical politics.
Obama? He went to Jesse Jackson's funeral. He spoke, and it was like a political hit job. And the family of Jesse Jackson got angry as hell at him because they understand they hated each other. You know, he was there. But I loved watching that. That was so. The family goes outside and they start screaming at him. A short time ago, under Biden and his allies in Congress, we were dead as a doornail. We were a dead country, I'll tell you, and it looked like we weren't going to come back. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. This is the hottest country anywhere in the world.
It's great hype, but it's just not true. I mean, we're slacking on mass deportations. We have mass crime rates right now. Now we have, on the Western Seaboard, we have terrorist risks of drone attacks by Iranian sleeper cells. These are real things that are happening. Nail bombs are being thrown in New York City. Again, that was provoked essentially by Jake Lang. Anyways, I
And in
don't know
four
about what he's
years,
saying
Joe
here.
Biden got less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States. So think of this. $1 trillion over a period of much less, over a period of 4 years. We got $18 trillion. And Jake Paul knows what that means.
Jake
$18
Paul.
trillion.
I liked Jake Paul up until he sold his soul for money and status and became a Jew. Not even a real Jew. He's literally Eastern European. But then all of a sudden,
In
okay,
11 months,
right.
say in a year, what difference does it make compared to substantially less than 1 trillion in 4 years? You would say they didn't do a good job, Jake. I didn't ask Jake who he voted for, but I don't think it was Kamala. I don't think so.
Probably
I think
was.
Your whole reputation would be shot if you said, "Oh, I voted for Kamala." That would be the end of your whole career, Jake. But here in the heartland
Like, what's
of
with the
America,
glazing
you're
of
already
Jake,
seeing the results
Jake,
of what
whatever?
we've done. I just
Honestly,
came from Thermo Fisher Scientific in Reading, Ohio, right across the way. The great American company that's investing $2 billion in domestic manufacturing, all because of what we've done with the tariffs and with the deductions and all of the other things that we've done. Ford Motor Company, and by the way, we have more jobs in terms of construction. We're building more factories now in this country than at any time in the history of our country. More factories are being built. And Ford Motor Company, a good old staple, has announced a $2 billion
What do you guys
assembly
think?
plant in Louisville, Kentucky, which will support more than 2,200 Kentucky jobs. And I was with Ford.
Here at the Score Bet,
sorry about
it's not
that.
just a tournament. It's
Random
personal.
ad.
We've
Don't
got the
mind
easiest
that.
way to bet
Didn't
what you
mean
believe.
to
Nope.
force that. My bad. Here we go.
He
Back
had
to
an
it.
advantage over everybody else in getting the job, but that's okay. He was born Ford, but he was showing me a plant that was built in like 1914, very old, one of the biggest plants in the country, but one of the oldest. And they were getting ready to shut it down a year and a half ago. And then he heard Trump was running.
What's really scary about all of this to me is that we have Trump who really does want to bring jobs back to America. And I think that's clear. He wants to. But at the same time, we have this fifth column in the United States and these Democrats also. And it's really Republicans, Democrats. None of them really care about you. If you think they do, then you're naive. You know, they care about the donors. They care about the money that's coming in. And it's like Trump is about as good as you're going to get out of a politician. I mean, honestly, about as good as you're going to get. We could have had a little bit more of a far right-wing president when it comes to Trump. We wanted all of these things, mass deportations, all of this, but we never got it, right? We never got it. And we never got, like, really any of these things that were essential and critical to national security and counterterrorism 101, all of these things. We never got it. And so that's my issue. What happens when a Democrat gets in? What happens when anybody, like a Republican too? All the Republicans are basically Democrats now. So to me, when I watch this, it's really scary because when Trump goes, it's pretty much it's back to George Bush days. It's back to Kamala Harris days to me.
And he sort
So
of
it's
said,
like,
let's wait.
as much as I'm frustrated with the war with Iran and I don't want to be involved in that war, at the same time, you also have to think economically, like, man, what is it going to be like in America if this is how bad it is with Trump, who was like, the guy who ran on all of this stuff, mass deportations and far right-wing stuff. And if he ran on this and he can't get nothing done, what happens when a Democrat gets in? They are going to close everything up in this country. I think it's going to create a real acceleration process when it comes to, hopefully not, but like a civil war. And it's just insane. And it all stems from this unnecessary Iran war to me.
So they were getting ready
What
to
do you
shut
think about
it
the
down.
Iran war? You think it's necessary? You think we should be fighting in it or not?
And it was on minimal time. It was just a question of time, but he said, let's wait. And he waited. And they just announced 2 weeks ago that they're now going to run 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, building the Ford 150. A big difference.
And China is making like their mass
That's a big
manufacturing drones
You
and all
shut
this
it
crazy
down
stuff.
or you run 24 hours a day. And they're doing a good job. Apple, a great company, $2.5 billion to manufacture 100% of the glass for iPhones and Apple Watches right here in Kentucky factories. All
The
being made
glass?
in Kentucky.
Great. We need more than that, though.
And Apple's spending $650 billion on new plants all over the United States.
Sorry about that. The stream's cutting out a little
Who the
bit.
hell else could have done this? Nobody else. Nobody else. I say it kiddingly.
Hold
but
on,
I'm
just gotta
actually
fix
not
this.
kidding. Nobody else could have. He's done a good job, Tim Cook. But $650 billion. Think of it. Just 2 days ago, GE Aerospace, they're doing phenomenally, announced a $1 billion investment in American manufacturing, including $115 million right across the river in the Queen City, Cincinnati. I love Cincinnati. So jobs, factories, and new investments are pouring in as they do. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a short period of time, including 8,000 brand new construction jobs in Kentucky. Okay? Kentucky. I love the way a real Kentuckian pronounces it, but if I do it, but I love Kentucky. More Americans are working today than any time in history, and that number is
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be,
not
when
true.
you see the numbers by the end of the year. We did an excursion. You know what an excursion is? We had to take a little trip to get rid of some evil, very evil people. It should have been done for 47 years. They've been killing our people. 47 years.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when Trump
47
goes.
years.
It's going to be rough.
And I
Sorry
can
about the
only
glitch
say
in the stream
this.
here. Should be coming
They
in and
were all
out. It's not
prepared.
me.
They're very strong. You know, they're going to try and take over the whole Middle East. They were going to knock out Israel. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them.
So again, this is crazy because Trump really does believe that the majority of Americans want to go fight for Israel. He really believes that most Americans are evangelical Christians who want to go fight and die for the state of Israel, who hates Christians. Like, if you were to go to Israel as a Christian today, you're going to get spit at. It's in there. It's like part of what they do. Look it up on X if you don't believe me. Okay, so it's like, we're fighting this war for who? You know, a nation who hates us? It's like, really? Are we that occupied? Yes, we are. Howard Lutnick. You know, Trump talks about the tariffs, but guess what? Those tariffs, everything that got shot down in the Senate, or the Supreme Court, I mean, everything that got shot down, that money's going to be recouped by Howard Lutnick. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? Isn't that so America first? Are you winning yet? And that's kind of what I'm upset with. That's what it's like. This is not, this is all a farce, and he's just stringing all of these people along who are cheering for this war and defending the state of Israel right now, who is wrong. Okay, the state of Israel is wrong for everything they're doing. Genocide in Gaza, that's happening. That doesn't get addressed. And what happens when, it's like, have we not done the same thing for the Israeli people in many ways? 1947. Think about that. All the Jews were allowed into Palestine, and then now look at what happened. All of Gaza is gone. So what happens to America if they were ever given a chance to rule over us? And seriously, we're at a point now where it appears to be very certain. Well, look at what we have. We have sleeper cells in America. We have all these things happening. Very upsetting. And so I'm not really thrilled. I'm not one of these. Again, I like Trump, and I voted for him for a certain reason, but now he's a Democrat. And he's also wearing the purple tie, which is an interesting observation, because whenever he wears the purple tie, usually making a big announcement. The purple tie or the tux. But these people are all completely brainwashed, cheering for this war, defending the state of Israel, thinking that Israel, that we must, as Christians, defend Israel. Like, that's so not true. Total propaganda, total psyop, and that's not real. It's Judeo-Christianity and the misconceptions and the falsities of it. The truth about Catholicism is that it's completely different than Judaism. And so, for us to be fighting this war for Israel, who really believes that Amalek, which is America, should be brought down by the hand of the Jew, that leaves us a lot of problems. And again, this isn't what I'm saying. This is just based on their own literature. This is some of the things you'll find on Twitter X. So it's like we're praising the state of Israel here, and it's like, this isn't a Christian thing. This isn't a Christian war. Anybody who says that Pete Hegseth is representing Orthodox Christianity in this, and the Knights Templar in that vision, that's not true. These are people who are completely misled, misguided by Zionists. These are Zionist Christians who are misled Christians, miseducated Christians. And that's how I see a lot of these evangelical Christians. That's the difference between Catholicism and Christianity. A lot of these people are non-denominational Christians. Leaves us a lot of problems here, doesn't it? With how easy it is to subvert Christianity and make it into Judeo-Christianity, when in fact they're completely two opposite religions.
They got hit by the American military. They don't know. They say, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this. To bring down energy costs for American workers and families and businesses like this one, we ended the Green New scam. You know the scam? Greatest scam in American history. Well, maybe the election results of the second election were. I would say what was the greater scam? The Green New scam or the 2020 rigged election? I would say the 2020. I think the election. I think the election, but what difference? But the main thing is, we said, get out and vote. We're going to do it again.
And you'll never have to again.
We're going to make it too big to rig. And that's what we did. We got the highest vote in history. We didn't need that big. We made it too big to rig. We terminated the insane electric vehicle mandate where you were mandated. And I like electric cars. I think they're great. I like Elon. I said, Elon, look.
Remember, this is specifically why Elon was kicked out of Doge.
And I like him, and it's a great product, everything, but we ended the mandate. We ended the mandate. Now you can have gasoline, you can have hybrid, you can have whatever the hell you want, you can have electric. They wanted you to buy an electric car by 2030.
Yeah, I kind of hate that.
Problem, you can't charge it.
Not a fan of the electric cars. I mean, I think they're great. Autonomous vehicles are cool, but
electric charging plant 150 miles up the road.
You should have a key ignition in your car. That's kind of my thing. I'm a boomer. I have boomer thinking when it comes to that.
Natural gas and clean, beautiful Kentucky coal. And we're not allowed in the Trump administration, we're not allowed to use the word coal without preceding it with two words, clean, beautiful. We say clean, beautiful coal. And we had Doug Burgum the other day, Secretary of the Interior, who's great, and Chris Wright, Secretary of Energy. And they were giving a long speech on coal. And I tried to stop them. I was in the audience.
Okay.
They kept saying, clean, beautiful coal, clean, beautiful coal, clean, beautiful. And after about like 40 times, I said, wait a minute, just say coal. It's too much. It's too much. But it's clean, beautiful coal, and it's back, and it's roaring back.
But what's the real reason for that?
It's interesting. China uses a lot of coal. China's very smart. They use coal. What they don't use much of, if at all, are windmills. So they make all the windmills, and they sell that garbage to us. Round and round it goes, keeps losing money. Every time it goes around, it loses $25. That's a lot, you know. And
crazy.
Kills a lot of birds. Kills them all. You know, if you shoot a beautiful bald eagle, they put you in jail for 5 years.
Okay, but what about free energy, though? You know, I want to know when we're going to get the free energy. New information came out, and it's in the bookmarks. We're going to talk about it later. That there's basically already 0-point gravity technology that's been discovered, and now that guy has been killed allegedly. We're going to look at that story a little bit later. But interesting observation here.
And regulations, they were putting them out of business. That would have forced them to shut down, including 4 plants we saved right here in Kentucky, and some of the people that work at those plants are here with us now. It's very powerful, and it is now with modern equipment, clean, beautiful, but it's a very powerful fuel. It's very powerful. And if it wasn't China and some of these other big behemoths would not be using it. They use it because it's powerful, very, very powerful. The wind, you know, you're watching television and you want to watch, and your beautiful wife, our First Lady, says, I'm sorry, darling, you can't watch tonight. The wind has gone down, and we have... but I want to watch myself on television.
This is kind of brutal to watch through because I just kind of know exactly what Trump's going to say. Like, I know his.
He says, I'm sorry, darling.
I've watched Trump enough over the years. Like, I just know his routine and just selling the. He really sells the same script every time. And it's definitely an inappropriate time to, because it's just none of these numbers. A lot of these numbers are inaccurate, especially with the war. I'm just really, I'm not okay with the war. That's the number one thing that we need to not be okay with, because, again, you can say that, terrorist regime of Iran needs to go. I understand that completely. I understand the argument. And I understand that there is real threats of terrorism and sleeper cells in the United States. Real problem, sure. But the question is, why do they come over here to the United States? Why do they come over here to America to terrorize Americans? Well, it's probably because we bomb their countries. It's probably because we force these people's hands. They come over here as refugees, and then they have no place to live because we bombed their homes and their schools and everything. They have no future. Like Trump said, they have no military, no nothing. And then they come over here, and then they kill us. Whether it's, again, we just had it. There was a Jewish victim just yesterday who was stabbed by, it looked like a few Muslims, or not stabbed, he was punched. It was like a fight. He was punching this Jew because he was speaking Hebrew. And this story happened. I can't remember exactly where it was. I don't want to say because I don't want to be wrong. But we'll look at the story. We'll see it when we look through. But these things are happening. This is the cost of the war. Now we have sleeper cells all over the United States, killing Christians, killing Jews, killing innocent people. And, in many ways, it's like, well, it's our fault. We brought them over here. We attacked them unprovoked. Okay, and then we can keep hearing this excuse, but we started this war unprovoked. And that is the issue I have, because this doesn't serve militaries or nations well at all. Nations lose their power from war. War is to be used for defense. War is to be used for, when you need it, not to just topple regimes.
There's no win tonight.
And that's why it really doesn't help America here at all.
That's a pretty big scam. That's one of the top. I say that's a top 5. It's about 5 that are real beauties. I also announced a lease agreement for $1.5 billion of private sector uranium enrichment facility in Paducah. Paducah. And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury.
So yeah, the MAGA crew loved that. A little bit of energy, one thing Trump says, and they all just get so lit up over it. And it's like, come on, listen to what's being said. Focus. Like, we're in a war that we shouldn't be in. And that is a real problem. Trump doesn't want to be in this war either. He's just saying all of this.
Well, it's only good if you win. You can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names that, sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me 20 names. And I'm falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name. And my administration, as you know better than anybody, is also working to keep the oil flowing. It's flowing all over. We knocked out, they wanted to drop some mines. Very friendly people, mines, so boats blow up. And we knocked out.
But it's their Strait of Hormuz, man. Like, our military bases are over there. We attacked them. That's the problem here.
Every hour I have to change because they knock them out so fast. I've never seen anything. Think of it.
At least there's that. Thank God they were able to get the mines out, if that's even true. Again, we know now that there's at least 150 plus military, U.S. military casualties here from this Iran war. So not good.
They're real ships.
I think a lot of these statements are exaggerated,
why the
puffing.
Hell did we kill them? Why did we just capture them and use them in our Navy? They said they wouldn't have qualified for that. But I got a little upset with my people. I said, why do we have to knock them? And actually, one of my generals said, sir, it's a lot more fun doing it this way. But we knocked out 50.
Yeah, look at her. She's just loving it. She's loving the taxes that she's going to get to pay because of this war. Look at everybody smiling, so excited to pay more taxes for this war.
Knocked out their Navy, okay? Let's put it that way. But they also knocked
nod
out
your head.
the mine layers. They call them mine layers. They put mines in the water. Lovely job. Isn't that nice? Blow up ships. and we knocked out 31 of them. And I was very proud of myself. I said, why didn't you use the weapon that we use on the drugs that come in by sea? Do you know that drugs by sea are down 98%?
Come on, 98%.
And I said, that's a hell of a weapon. And they said, well, give it a shot. It worked very well. We've knocked out, I think, 28 or 29, all of them, almost all of them. They'll all be gone. By the time I'm finished speaking, they'll be gone. These people work very fast. But I'm pleased to report that earlier today, the International Energy Agency agreed to coordinate the release of a record 400 million barrels of oil from various national petroleum reserves around the world.
So yeah, I mean, this has been affecting oil prices big time.
As we end this threat to America and this threat to the world, we don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right?
Oil prices about to go up. That's what I think. Oil prices are going to go up. I don't see them going down, but maybe I'll be wrong.
Over the past 11 days, our military has virtually destroyed Iran. Tough country. Their Air Force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours. They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment.
Everything Trump is saying about Iran is really Israel, though. And let's just all be honest about that. Like, that's true. Everything Trump is saying about Iran is really more what Israel is doing.
They don't have anything. Their missiles are down 90%. Their drones are down 85%. We're blowing up the factories where they're made left and right.
Could you imagine, though? Like, sorry about
Bring
the
it
ad. I
everywhere
can't control that. Could you imagine, though, if, like, we had said that about Israel? Imagine if America said that we did that to Israel. Imagine the ramifications. Imagine the treatment Americans would get for that. If it was the other way around.
Killing of Soleimani and al-Baghdadi, two of the worst killers in the world that I did, as well as Operation Midnight Hammer, where we totally obliterated Iran's nuclear potential. We obliterated it. They don't have nuclear potential. And
yeah, they do have
during
nuclear
after
potential.
Midnight
They
Hammer,
can build one. They can build a nuke.
and then we left. We figured that'll be the end of them for a while. But they started again. That's why we got to finish it, right? We don't want to go back every 2 years. And
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
you know-
Like, if we're going to be involved in this war, then it needs to just be finished. We need to be in and out, though. And this can't be a 10-year war. It can't be even a 2-year war. It should be a 4 to 5 week war. But it's not going to be. I don't think that's going to happen. I see this being a 10, 15, 20-year war. This is George Bush 2.0 at this point. This is a Democrat administration, in my opinion, at this point. And anybody siding with this is really just diehard Trump, a Trump fan. And again, I get it. As somebody who voted for Trump twice, I understand. But it's like, this guy's lying to you. He's lying to everybody. He's lying to America. And it's not going to benefit the country long term. This is the one thing I just definitely can't stand behind Trump on this. We should not be at war with Iran right now. Strategically, militarily, makes no sense. Tactically, not smart.
there'll be some day when you don't have me as president. You'll have perhaps.
Oh, it's going to be even worse, too. Like, Nick Fuentes believes that it's going to be better without Trump. I definitely don't see that, though. Like, I don't know how much I agree with that, man, because these Democrats, they already hate this country. The Democrats, they make it very clear that they hate this country. The Republicans are just more stealthy about it, right? Like the Howard Lutnicks, they just steal from you and they're a little bit crafty or a little bit more stealthy with it. And all these people voted Democrat before. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, well, they didn't vote Democrat, but they are like rhino Republicans, right? They are Israel first shills, right? J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, these people are the people that Trump supporters and MAGA are supposed to get behind as the next president, perhaps, or as the next secretary, whatever. Well, these things are going to really hurt America more than help because these are anti-Trumpers. J.D. Vance was a never-Trumper. Marco Rubio was also a never-Trumper. So these people are not loyal, and essentially all the people that were around Trump got fired. And so that's what happened.
Perhaps you'll have a weak, pathetic person like we've had in the past, mostly all.
That's
like
you right
Barack
now,
Hussein
Trump, until you
Obama,
stand
who
up to
signed one of
Israel.
the worst deals.
Until Trump stands up to Israel, he is just as bad as every president we've had who's basically kissed the wall when they really didn't even believe in that or want to do that. And they did it for what they believe to be political power, status, money.
Ever with Iran, where they were going to give up everything. Remember when he filled up a 757 with billions of dollars of cash and sent it to Iran? Billions. People forget that.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's when I realized the presidency is very powerful. When
The
you get
interesting thing about Obama is he worked to end the nuclear deal of Israel. So one thing Obama did is he tried to end the nuclear deal between Israel and America, and he was kind of a driving force behind that. And then basically Trump was elected to scuttle the nuclear deal.
put over $1 billion
That's exactly what he
in an
did.
airplane and fly it over and give it to a foreign country that's your enemy. How stupid was that? But that deal, the Iran nuclear deal, gave them the right to have a nuclear weapon as of 3 years ago. If I didn't terminate that deal, I terminated it very quickly. If I didn't terminate that deal, they would have had nuclear weapons, and this world would right now be a different place, much different place.
Yeah, it'd be a safer place because Israel wouldn't have them. Israel wouldn't be dropping white phosphorus bombs, which is basically sulfuric acid, melting on these people in Lebanon right now. That wouldn't be happening right now, probably. Big problems. This is not good.
And then Biden, he came along. He had no clue. He didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Man, no shit. He definitely did
But
not.
what they did was incredible. Everything they did was wrong. Think of it. Afghanistan, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. Embarrassing. 13 dead, but hundreds.
No, the most embarrassing day of this country, in my opinion, was the Epstein files and Trump not willing to release them. Okay, we already know all about the Epstein files, but he pretends that they don't exist. We already know that this country is being flooded by illegal immigrants, very dangerous military-aged men, usually, and they're coming here to attack. No matter what religion these people are coming from, whether it's or place, whether it's these are Muslims, whether these are people coming from Somalia, they're committing fraud in our states, they're committing fraud in our cities, they're doing it underneath our noses, and then our politicians are allowing them in because they want the votes.
Hundreds are dead I count both sides, I do. I count both sides, sorry. But hundreds and hundreds of people dead. And instead of leaving from Bagram, they fled. I hate to even say it. There's no reason. We were in there. I was the one. We're going to get out. We're going to get out with strength and dignity. We're pounding.
We're in Iran right now. Trump is saying how he got us out of the war. We're in a war. What are you talking about?
They didn't like Donald Trump, the Taliban. They would do anything I asked them to do. You know that. And this guy comes in, left all the equipment behind.
This is another puppet presidency.
They said, no, it's better to leave the plane. I said, why is it better? Well, I think it's more cost efficient to leave the plane. No. You got a brand new fighter jet, $150 million. You give it a tank of gas, little jet fuel, and you fly it out. They said, sir, I think it's better to leave the plane. These are the exact opposite generals as we have now. Do we love General Raisin Cane?
No. We don't like any of these generals because they just want war. They're profiting off of war. They're trying to stay relevant because of war. They're getting us into wars that cost the American taxpayer. They don't care about the American people. They want money. And that's what's happening. This is just so wrong.
It's great.
Trump's got it all wrong.
But
totally misinformed, or he's in on it.
Back down, and it's going to come down, but we're not leaving until that job is finished, and it's going to be very fast. It's going to be very fast, but we're not going to count on having competent presidents. We have to assume we're going to have incompetent ones, like the one we had last time that couldn't.
Or
walk
right
off
now,
the
because you
stage.
can't
Remember?
stand up to Israel, Trump.
He'd finish with a speech. The speech would last about 2 minutes. People would come out, not many, like 2 people. And he'd be finished with the speech, and then he could never find his way off the platform.
Yeah, that was funny.
He'd look around over here.
Funny, but
There's so many
embarrassing
stairs,
for
like,
sure.
I have 4 sets of stairs on this platform. Usually they have at least that. He couldn't find, or walking up Air Force One. Now, I know the
Oh,
problem with
that was
this,
a bad
it can
one,
happen.
too.
You could slip. I could slip. I came downstairs today that was soaking wet. You know, it's a little rainy today. And I have steel stairs, and I'm saying, hey, hey, hey. But I do it very slowly. I grab that thing, because nobody cares if you set a speed record. The only thing I admired about Barack Hussein Obama, which was nothing actually, but the only thing is the way he bobbed down. Remember, he'd bob. Hey, you talk about unpresidential. He's bobbing. And I couldn't believe that he made it without at least a noticeable major fall. But Biden was the opposite. Biden couldn't even walk up the stairs.
Talking about Biden, we're talking about Obama. Let's talk about Iran. Let's talk about
the
Israel.
world watches that, and they don't like seeing it, although they actually do like seeing it, because they say, what the hell is going on? Or when he fell at the Air Force Academy, right? And the general was standing there, could have caught him, but he didn't want to drop the paper that he's holding in his hand. So Biden went down for the count. Now, we have
Went
a
down
country
for the
now
count.
that's respected, and we don't play games, and we have the greatest military.
Trump does have that aura,
It's
though.
so
He
nice
does.
to see. So nice to see. And they want to get back in office for the midterms, and you can't let them. Did you see that they went to Munich, right? You saw that, right? You saw Gavin Newsom. He admitted that Gavin Newsom.
I think that'll be an
I think
interesting
his career
race
is over, okay?
if he does end up running.
Let's get off the teleprompter for. Do you mind if I get off the teleprompter for a couple of minutes? Because this is, I have these great speech writers. I drive them crazy because half of the time I'm not. But Gavin Newsom, in an interview.
Oh, this is when, somebody just passed out. Damn. Yeah, I'd seen some of these highlights, but I didn't see like the whole clips.
Doctor.
Trump just playing it cool. Yeah, you think Trump should run over there, but at the same time, it's like you don't know who's over there, right? He could have.
Take your time, please.
Could be somebody with a gun there. You just never know. So Trump's doing the right thing by staying where he's at least in terms of security. But I wouldn't even be letting Trump out right now. It's kind of crazy that they're even letting him give these speeches, totally exposed to the public. What did you guys learn about this girl? Do you guys know anything about this girl? Like what happened with her? She passed out or something? I'd seen that on X. I don't know what happened with her, but interesting. Pay attention to the room too. Pay attention to what people are doing.
We have all the time. These are great people. They wait so long, hours and hours. They're great people, right? We have all the time, right?
No, she's passing out. They don't have time. They need to go. They need to go now. Take your time. She's just dying over here. Take your time. You got all the time. That's a little awkward. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, pay attention to the background. I think that guy in the cowboy hats might be Secret Service. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? See anything weird in the audience? These are the most interesting parts about these events, really, studying the body language, what people are doing, movements. A lot of weird things during the Charlie Kirk shooting, right? The assassination, that was crazy day. A lot of weird activity in the audience. So that's why I'm always saying, you got to pay attention. Damn, Trump stopped the speech for this.
First responders are incredible, by the way.
I wonder what that was. I wonder what happened to this girl. You guys know? Leave a comment if you do. I don't know what happened. I only seen like a couple little clips on X, which we're going to watch some of these later. Wonder if she just passed out or... Again, remember, at one of these events, it was said that there was some laser that was deployed and a bunch of people's eyes were affected in the at this Trump rally. Don't know anything. I mean, I don't know, but I remember this happened. That was crazy. So I wonder if this is like the same stuff. You just never know today, right? I'm very curious. I wonder if this was something wonder if she just passed out or if this was just, who knows? Maybe it was Iran. Maybe it was Israel. One's in the chat. Honestly, what do you guys think happened? There's just not much info on it yet. We're going to go find out later for sure. I'm guessing she's all right. They're starting to clap now. Anything weird you guys see? Looks like a pretty normal group of people. Not seeing anybody I notice as being weird or suspicious. Yeah, I'm guessing she just
Want to
passed out
play a
though.
song?
Want to play a song?
Do you think the people backstage are listening to me? How about Ave Maria? Well, because is going to be okay. How about putting it in right now, Ave Maria, if they are listening? Ave Maria by Bob
So if he
Rock.
does play music, I'm going to have to turn it down for that because I don't want to get copyright. I don't know how long they had her down or what. Looks like she's about to pop back up, though. I think they're pretty much good. I think they're getting her out of there. Well, I don't know, man. The signs are there. Weird things are happening at the rallies. Okay, so she's fine. Looks like she's all right. So she just kind of passed out, I'm guessing. Looks like she could be a little bit older, so. Good people, though. These are all good people, just misinformed, you know. I think a lot of them are misinformed, and they're hardworking people. Most MAGA voters are. And I think they've just been lied to for many years by, you know, not necessarily Trump, but a lot of the people around Trump. I think that's kind of what's been going on in our country. You know, I look at these people, I see, like, the people I grew up with, my family, you know, innocent people. All people want to, like, do their own thing. But this is what I'm saying. Like, people need to be aware that a war with Iran isn't going to help anybody. We can't be supporting this kind of stuff, you know. And it also makes me wonder, like, is all of this destined?
Take
You
your
know,
time.
are these events like this where somebody passes out at an event? Does that say
She
something?
looks great. She looks great.
Trump has the total charisma, though. We're not going to have another president like Trump. I'm not saying like he's perfect, but pretty much as close as you can get. Like that's like a pretty much a perfect carve out of what you'd want like a president to look like. It's just so sad though, you know. Like, man, this could have been such a great presidency. Really, I'm not gonna be too much of a doomer, but you know, definitely wanted to see. I want to see the American Golden Age, right? That's kind of why I voted for Trump twice. That's why I was in the entire MAGA movement, and that's the whole idea. I want to see our country get strong again, make America great again. That's what it's all about. America first, though, more importantly. And that's the biggest problem in America today.
It's Dr. Oz.
You have a
Can you
fifth,
believe
fifth
it?
column. Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz?
He's a good doctor.
Oh, that's Dr. Oz? I don't even know what Dr. Oz looks. I was thinking of that other
Thank you,
doctor.
Oz.
Who's that other Hollywood doctor? I couldn't think of his name. Anyways, I don't really watch Dr. Oz, but hey, Dr. Oz was there. So it looks like they're getting her out, so that's good. Nice Trump. Stopped the speech for her. Nice
Great
move.
job. Thank you.
Well done, I guess. As much as it can be for that situation, but is that symbolic? Is that symbolic of the thing, of kind of the feelings in the air? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it was just
Well,
coincidence.
thank you
Who
very much.
knows?
We're talking about Gavin Newsom.
And it
Doesn't
looks like
seem
we're
a
getting
real
back
good
to it now.
subject right now. It made that young lady not feel so good. Anyway, he admitted he has mental problems, that he's not a smart person. That he
I
is
remember he said that. I remember
mental-
Newsom did admit that. That's
a
funny.
mental lack of ability. He's unable to read a speech. He can't read. And all of the other things he said he has a lot of mental problems. And I was attacked by a reporter that said, well, what's wrong with that? I said, nothing's wrong with it. But I don't want the President of the United States to have a cognitive deficiency. Okay. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that
And
was
when
bad
he
with
admitted
Biden.
this,
Like,
I
we
said,
can never let that happen
I
again.
think he
Like,
just lost
Trump's got his
the
problems.
Democrat
Trump is
nomination.
blackmailed to a certain degree, probably a little bit
You know what?
bought off, but
I'm
like,
for
at
everybody,
least the
but
guy
you
can
know, when it
think,
comes
you
to
know?
president, you got to be sharp. You got to be sharp as hell.
Sure, yeah.
One of the greatest victories we have achieved for hardworking Americans with the help of our great Republican majorities in Congress is no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and as I told you before, no tax on overtime, which affects you. 800,000 Kentucky seniors.
I'm curious from people listening, is this impacting you in a positive way, or is this more negative? Like, are you seeing any of this or not? When it
If
comes
they
to the
take
tax
power,
breaks and
they'll
all of that, are you
terminate it.
feeling that in your
800,000
home
Kentucky.
or no?
So you have, think of that. You have no tax on Social Security. 800,000 seniors, and they will end it. We got to win the midterms. We also made interest on auto loans tax deductible. First time that's ever happened, but I did put a little proviso. The car has to be made in America for you to get it.
And I love this about Trump. This is what I love about Trump, because I really
Our
believe
tax cuts are
the businesses need to be brought
This
back
is your
to the United States. Sorry about the ad. I can't really control that. It's just popping up because we're watching a replay of the event. But I really love that about Trump. I love the capitalistic Trump. I love the business Trump. Bringing jobs back to America. We do need to do that. Every other country is destroying us in this regard, in this comparison. Sorry, they're making me watch these. I can't skip these ads. But you should use LifeLock. I guess I'll give it a free plug there. LifeLock's pretty good.
Let me
All right,
call up
back
your
to it.
outstanding CEO, Paul. Come on up, real fast, Paul. Come on, Paul first. Come on up here, Paul. Let's go. Do it fast, Paul. They don't want to hear from you.
Paul. Oh, Jake Paul. No, wait, no. This isn't Jake Paul yet. I know Jake Paul like speaks tonight or something. I didn't see much about it. What do you guys think of Jake Paul? Are you guys fans of the Jake Paul or no? I don't know, man. I think Jake Paul is a hustler, but at the same time, he converted to Judaism, and that's
Thank you,
just like
President Trump.
he just did that for money, bro.
Thank you for
know?
allowing me an opportunity to share our experiences, how your economic policies and the one big, beautiful bill have positively impacted our employees, company, and family. As mentioned in your earlier comments, the no tax on overtime will greatly benefit our employees, producing an average of $1,400 additional take-home pay
Oh,
per
yay.
year per person.
$1,400. $1,400. Like Howard Lutnick's about to make like what, $150 billion off of the tariff buybacks, and you're gonna get like $1,200 at the end of the year.
A family vacation,
Ugh,
provide further
yikes.
education for their children, pay bills, or make a down payment on a house or car. Our family and companies have a mission of giving back to our communities. The savings from the lower tax rates and permanently full expensing of equipment will allow us to invest back
Okay,
in our
like
local
I just have to enter
communities of
because honestly, like most people today are completely in default on their credit cards, and it's like $1,200. You know, it's like that's crazy. That's just not
Many
really
of our
enough for
diverse
people. You know,
family owners and members who are with us today understands how vital the extension of the estate tax credit exemption is for the continuity and succession planning of our great family business. Our sweat and equity are tied to this building, many others, and our business.
can I have a piece of that
Without this
$22 million that was given to the U.S. troops for their steak meal that Pete Hegseth got to enjoy, the $22 million dinner?
Estate taxes.
I want some of that money. $1,200 isn't really
President
cutting
Trump, this is all possible because of your vision to make America great again.
it. I really hope we do it. I want to see it happen more than anything. That's why I'm doing this stream, because I love America. We got to make it happen.
On
We can do
behalf
it.
of our family, company, and employees, we want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Northern Kentucky and the Cincinnati region. You are in the heart of Kentucky, home of bluegrass, faster horses, and the best damn bourbon in the world.
They do have some good bourbon.
You
But I'm not a
are
drinker,
in
so.
Trump country right now. If wrapping this up, if we can just take a pause, and I'm going to say a quick little prayer for President Trump, if I could. May God bless and keep you healthy and safe. And may God bless our beloved United States of America and everything it stands for. Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you, Paul. Wow, he did a good job. You think that's easy to do? That's not easy. Oftentimes I'll say to the head of a company,
It's definitely not easy.
"Please come up
It's
and
not
do-"
easy doing
"Oh,
the
I
stream.
don't want to."
Couldn't imagine being up there
Very
public
good. Thank you
speaking. It'd
very
be tough.
much. Thank you for the prayer. Also with us today is Sammy Biddle, who works at the restaurant and bar in nearby Newport, Kentucky. Sammy makes over half of her income through tips. And now, thanks to the no tax on tips, her tax liability has been slashed by more than 50%. The average filer's tax refund this year has soared to nearly $4,000. You're saving $4,000, and Sammy's receiving
Well, there's
even more,
something.
over $5,000.
That's a little better.
So Sammy's going to make over $5,000 more than anticipated, all because of the great, big, beautiful bill that the Republicans got passed, but with not one Democrat vote. They want to raise your taxes. They're going to raise your taxes. So, Sammy, come on up for a second and say hello, Sammy.
Sammy on the tax cuts. So again, have you guys benefited from Trump's tax cuts? Are you seeing benefits in your real life now? I mean, I guess that's the real question. What is everybody else saying? What is everybody else experiencing?
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, there we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Sammy Biddle, and I am a general manager and bartender at a local distillery in Newport, Kentucky called Pensive Distilling. And like most servers and bartenders, a big portion of my annual salary comes from working double shifts and tips. A big dream of mine has always been to save up enough money to buy a nice piece of land and eventually build a home on that land. And this year, due to our president's no taxes on tips and overtime policy, I got more year-end taxes back than I ever have, which has helped me get that much closer to my American dream. Thank you, Mr. President.
Ugh. I just hope it works out. I hope we win. That's all I know. I just hope we win. I hope we win. I hope America wins. That's all I know.
Good, right? Thank you, Sammy. So millions and millions of Kentucky families will have more money in their pockets thanks to what we did with respect to tax cuts. And I just described what every single Democrat in Congress voted against it. Every single one, not one voted for it. They want tax increases, along with just one Republican voted against. You know what the name is? He is the worst person. His name is, what the hell? How did he ever end up in Kentucky? His name is Thomas Massie.
Ooh, come on. Don't see, this is where I think this is where Trump's going to lose a lot of his base. Thomas Massie is just, all Thomas Massie has done is spoke up against the Epstein files. That's pretty much it. Wants to release them.
He voted against tax cuts for overtime workers, and he voted against tax cuts for earners, tip earners. No, he wanted to increase the taxes. He voted with the Democrats. He voted against our historic funding for border security. He voted against border security, where we took the worst border in the history of our country, made it the best border in the history of our country in 2.5 months. He voted against it. And he voted against eligibility verification for welfare recipients. Nobody has to be eligible. Just pick up whatever.
What do you guys
want.
think about Thomas
The
Massie?
people in this room don't like that. Thomas Massie also voted with the radical left Democrats in Congress to keep the federal government shut down during the open border crusade while our military went without pay. He voted for a military not to get that pay. And now Massie, he's the worst. And I don't
He's
say-
not the
I never
worst.
hit a guy like this. The guy's supposed to.
He's mad at Thomas Massie because
Rand Paul.
Thomas Massie has been pushing to release the Epstein files. That is really the real reason Trump is upset at Massie
Rand a
right
little
now.
bit.
Same thing with Marjorie
Love a
Taylor
guy
Greene.
for
Marjorie
boasting. I
Taylor
got him
Greene's a little
elected
worse.
twice. If I didn't endorse him, he was not going to get elected. Do you remember that? I came and I did a little rally, and Rand votes against us all the time too, but at least he's okay. I wouldn't say the greatest. And now Thomas Massie is attacking a great Navy SEAL hero. This is a real hero, Ed Galrine, who's running against him in the primary. You know why? because he's not doing right for our president. He didn't want to run for office. He's a hero. He's a farmer hero. He's a tremendous war hero, but he's a farmer right here. He's like central casting. I said, this is the guy I'm looking. I wanted to.
There's that word again, central
give me
casting.
somebody with a warm body to beat Massey.
Whenever Trump sees somebody that he wants on camera, he'll always say that, central casting, something to pay attention to. Over the years, I've noticed this with Trump. Whenever he wants somebody to be on that limelight, central casting.
He votes against everything. And Ed became an independent a few years ago because he was so angry at the way the Republican Party was operating, and I don't disagree with him. Other people did too. But then Ed came back, and he came back strong because I got involved, and he came back stronger than he ever was, and now he's all the way, he's in this party, and he's in it. And he said, I came back because of the strength and wisdom that Donald Trump displayed, and I appreciate that. That's a nice... I think I'm going to use him in an ad. I think I'll use that statement. I'm going to use that statement in an ad. Strength and wisdom. I put wisdom in quotes because I didn't say it, he did. But many people have joined and rejoined our party, but Massey did not because he only votes no. He just votes no. Doesn't matter. I could give him.
I think it's 98% that he actually
things
votes
in
Republican.
the
He votes with
history
the
of a
Republicans on.
Republican
98%.
voter.
So
And he
that's not
voted
true.
no. There's something wrong with him. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the Save America Act, which is very simply, I think he has to vote for it, but he's a nut job, so you never know. All voters must show voter ID.
That's common
98%.
sense. Yeah,
That's 98%.
Totally. We need that.
All voters must show a little thing called proof of citizenship in order to vote.
Also important.
Right? Right, Paul? Paul agrees. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. You're away. You can't get there. We'll be generous. And then I added two things. We call them best of. You know what they are? Best of Trump. These are the best of. No men in women's sports.
Yeah, also common sense.
99%. That's 99.
But see, the problem I
And
have with
no
Trump on this is the...
Gender mutilization surgery for our children.
Yeah, but just the other day he said that that would be allowed as long as the parents consented. So that's, again, like he's saying this, but that's not what he actually said on Truth Social in his real words and his actions.
That's it. That's it. And I think we're going to get it approved in the House. And I hear the Senate has a hard time. How can you have a hard time with that? How can you have a hard time? But Massey wants to vote no, but on this one he may be forced. I mean, how can you do it? So I just want to say this. Thomas Massey is a disaster for our party. He comes from a state.
Did you guys hear that
I won by a
apparently...
landslide.
Did you guys hear that apparently Trump called Thomas Massey while he was on the House floor and basically said, don't go forward with this bill or whatever? This is from Thomas Massey. There was a clip I saw yesterday on it, but it was interesting. I wasn't sure if you guys saw
I
it.
got the highest vote in the history of your Commonwealth.
Not a huge fan of...
The highest vote.
I don't
got
know.
the highest vote. That
Gotta
means
be
that
loyal.
people like me, and I love them. I love them. I love them more than they love me, but I still got the highest. Remember with your mother, I love you more than you love me. We revert back to childhood. But Massey's a complete and total disaster as a congressman and, frankly, as a human being. You know, he's got one thing going. He went to a good college. But I know a lot of stupid people that went to a good college.
Huh. That's very true.
And my uncle was the longest serving professor in the history of that particular college, university, MIT, 41 years. My uncle was there 41 years, so that means I have much better blood if you go by that. But I went to the hardest college of all to get into, the Wharton School of Finance. That means I'm real smart. We got to get rid of this loser. This guy is bad. He's disloyal to the Republican Party. He's disloyal to the people of Kentucky. And most importantly,
No.
he is
No, he's not.
disloyal to the United States of America.
Damn, that's some
And
harsh
he's got to
words.
be voted out of office as soon as possible. On the other hand, Ed Galron has my complete and total endorsement. He's a true American hero, and he's a great
I don't know who that
patriot,
guy is.
And he's doing
Ed
it
Galron.
because he saw what this guy was doing to our country, and he said, I'm going to run. He's now a farmer, successful farmer. And I can tell you, he's strong as hell. He shook my hand. My hand is still recovering. Sir, I'd like to shake your hand. Absolutely. Holy mackerel. I didn't tell him that, you know. I'm telling him now officially. Ed, would you come up for a minute, please?
Mr. President, welcome to Kentucky and thanks for coming to the heartland.
So this guy was a Navy SEAL also. So I don't know much about him.
Courageous leadership of our great nation at such a critical time in history. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. This is the land of we the people, right here. I want to thank you for your endorsement, because once you did that, my support skyrocketed. So I look forward to serving to the people as their representative of Kentucky District 4. Because as you folks know, you deserve an authentic, true Republican conservative that stands shoulder to shoulder with our president and the Republican Party and against the Democrats who are trying to destroy our nation.
Wonder what his positions are on the state of Israel. I'm sure that he is pro-Iran war and everything. I would imagine so, right?
USA!
I don't know much about him.
USA!
Nice.
So, Mr. President, I will stand with you and the party to put America first and Kentucky always. Mr. President, I hope the fake news gets this. Tom Massey stands with the ladies of The View. Tom Massey stands with the ladies of The View. Mr. President, we stand with you. Fight, fight, fight! USA! USA!
I love the energy. I love what he's saying, but it's like we also have to acknowledge the fact that the reason Trump is upset with Thomas Massey is, again, because Thomas Massey was going to release the Epstein files. He pushed to release
You know,
them.
I've done this before, not quite as violently and miserably as this one, but I just can't stand this guy. But I've had some candidates that weren't great. They'd get up, they wouldn't talk well. And I'm trying to beat like an incumbent bad congressman, senator, somebody. I do it all the time. If somebody's bad, I try and get him out of office. I should just leave it alone. My life would be a lot easier. But I have usually candidates that don't have what it takes. This guy is unbelievable. He is central casting.
Wow, so we've been going
Just
like,
elect
what,
him.
10
You're gonna
minutes
have no
now?
problems
Trump's been going
with him.
10
Thank
minutes
you.
on
Ed, thank you.
anti-Thomas Massey. I wonder if he's going to bring up Marjorie Taylor Greene as well. He usually puts her right along in that same boat.
Some of the amazing warriors who,
Maybe not.
unlike Massey, stood up for the working people of this Commonwealth, this great group of people, the people that built the nation, including a wonderful man who's been with me all the way, Congressman Andy Barr. All the way.
Imagine being able
sorry
to build
about
an
this.
app with your name on it.
Random ad. Again, I'm not endorsing any of these. We're just watching a replay here, so it's just giving me random ads every
He's
now
a
and
good
then.
guy and a warrior. Also with us is a senator who came from really behind. He really didn't have a good chance of winning. The guy was a longtime senator, Democrat, it's terrible. He's running again, he's terrible. Was a terrible radical left lunatic. but Bernie Moreno did some job on him, and he won the race, and it was amazing. Bernie, congratulations.
Oh,
Thanks
this is
as well
dry.
to
This is so
CMS
long.
Administrator.
Wonder
You
when
just
this is
saw him
over.
working. Dr. Mehmet Oz. He was just working. Thank you, Dr. Oz. Director of the Center for Medicare, who's an incredible guy, helped us so much with the reduction in drug prices that you got, the biggest reduction in history. Chris Klump.
Chris Klump.
Your state attorney general, Russell Coleman. Russell, thank you. Thank you, Russell. Good job. A wonderful Secretary of State. We have a good one in Washington, too. Marco. Do we like Marco? I
No.
think so.
No. Nope.
Your
Not a fan of
Secretary
Marco.
of State, Michael Adams.
Deep state all day.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. State Auditor, Allison Ball. Thank you. These are great people, and I've gotten to know them over the years. They're just incredible people. State Treasurer, Mark Metcalf. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Great job. Your former Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. Daniel, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. And Chairman and CEO of Morris Industries, a good man, Nate Morris.
Let's see what else we end up talking about here.
The United States. I don't do interviews. Look at Joe Biden. He went 2.5 years without doing an interview because he was shot. But he was shot 30 years ago, too. He was no good. But I said, Jake, I'm president. How can I do your local podcast? But his local podcast is big stuff. And he's big stuff. Jake, you got to come up. Come here. Come on. You got to.
So it's like, I'm confused by
This
this,
guy
though.
has guts.
Like, I like Jake Paul for, I think he's pretty cool, but until when he converted to Judaism, lost all respect. And it's like, is that why Trump's inviting him on stage? Because he converted to Judaism? Seriously.
Yeah, what Mr. Trump has
Like,
taught me is courage.
so
We
random.
never back down from a fight, even if they're much bigger than you, much, much bigger than you. And I feel all the local Kentuckians feel the same way. You guys have that fight. You guys have that swag. There's
Fix your tie, bro. Fix your tie. You're talking with the president. Fix your tie.
a lot
Have
of
some
young
respect.
kids in here. The future of America. I grew up just a few hours away from here, and my dad taught me to fight. And all of our voices matter in America. And I'm never afraid to speak the truth. And I know you guys aren't. We are here representing the United States, and it's just a blessing. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We need more factories like this thriving all over the country, and I know he's going to be the one to bring that here to us. I know God is with us. I know he wants
Not
us
Christ,
on the right
though,
side
right?
of history.
Wait a minute. Why are you talking about God?
everyone here
Why is he talking about God? He's a Jew. They don't believe in God. They believe in Hashem, I guess. But is that the same thing as Christ to them? Oh wait, no, it's not. They don't worship the same God. They won't say Christ. They'll say God all day long, but they'll never say Christ. It's an interesting thing you'll notice in politics.
Now, he's a great guy. He's a courageous guy and a talented
You hear
guy.
Trump.
He's a hell of
You
a
hear Trump
fighter,
say
too,
it
by the way.
sometimes,
And I
selectively.
just want to say, I predict, I'm going to make a prediction that you will be, in the not too distant future, running for political office. Okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement, okay?
Really?
Yeah, that's what we want. He's an incredible guy. A lot of courage and smarts.
I agree he has
So
courage. I
for
like Jake Paul for
long
the
years,
courage,
Joe
but
Biden and the
he
radical
converted to
Democrats
Judaism.
in
He's our
Congress
enemy.
gave us the
He doesn't
worst
even like
inflation in
America.
the history of our country, driving up prices all across the board. They left us a mess. In 12 months, my administration has driven down core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months, inflation was less than 1.7%. Under our policies, prices for chicken, eggs, cheese, butter, potatoes, and fresh fruit are lower today by a lot than when I took office. Hotel rates, automobile prices, and rent payments are way down as well. As a result of my direction to purchase $200 billion in mortgage bonds, a risky move, perhaps, but not for me. Mortgage rates are now the lowest in more than 5 years, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000.
That's so not true. Wait a minute. This is the
And
same
to
guy
help
who said he
our-
was going to keep prices high on housing so that way the investors could keep making money, which is great. I'm a real estate agent. I get it. Make money on those investments, but don't lie.
Up single-family homes.
Sorry, this isn't my stream cutting out. I think this is the Fox News
Under
the
my
Fox News
most
stream.
favored nation,
Give it a moment.
immigrants for drug prices, we're also slashing drug prices at record levels, with price differences of 400, 500, 600, and even 700%. Can you believe it?
I just don't know about these
And
numbers.
I got that with the drug companies, and then I had to convince foreign nations that it's not fair, and I used the word tariff, the beautiful word. I always said one of my most favorite, most beautiful words.
Yes, and thank God
I
Howard
used to say
Lutnick is
it's
going to
one
get
of the
rich
favorite
from those
words, most
tariffs.
beautiful word, and the fake news killed me. They said, what about your wife? What about God? What about religion? What about your children?
Yeah, I do
said,
want to know
"Okay, it's my
what is your
fifth
religion,
favorite
Trump?
word. Now I don't get in trouble.
What is your
They
actual
actually went
religion?
after it. I said, it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. And they killed me. These guys are the worst. For decades, Americans have paid the highest drug costs in the world. But now, thanks to our policies, Americans are going to be paying the lowest drug prices paid anywhere in the world. And these incredible price reductions are available right now at, and I did not name this. This was done by Dr. Oz and Bobby. Where's Oz? He's back with the patient. So he stays with the patient. Where's Oz? Oz, is it true that I did not name this after myself? Okay, thank you. If he said no, he'd be out of here. No, he's done a great job. And is she okay, Oz? Good. Thank you. Great. Great job. She's okay.
Trump is an outstanding leader, though. I mean, he definitely knows how to run the room. And lots of
it's
lessons you can
available right
learn
now,
from the
these
Trump.
really low prices, TrumpRx.gov. TrumpRx, and people are using it in record numbers. He named it, I didn't name it. I'm not sure I want my name on drug. Well, drug reduction is probably good, right? If prices ever go up, I'm going to say, get my name off there. But they're not going to go up. They're only going to go down. Other presidents tried to do it, but all they did was talk.
What do I get the
It's all
feeling it's
talk,
going to be
no
the opposite?
action. I got it done. I got it done for you. Got it done for Kentucky. But it's doing record-type business, right? Biggest price reduction. I think it's one of the biggest things to happen in medicine because the prices are just a tiny fraction of what they were. So Trump RX is a major step toward a larger goal of reducing the cost of health care for hardworking Americans since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act. You know what that is? I love the name. The Unaffordable Care Act. Oh, do the Democrats hate me? I wonder who hates me more, stupid Tom Massey or the Democrats?
And he really don't like
think
Thomas
it's Trump.
Massey.
Well, they have Trump derangement syndrome.
See, that's
If we
always
won
the
that
excuse. It's
war,
like, no,
which we
people don't want to
have,
go to a war with
basically,
Iran.
If we won that war in one day, he should have done it faster. It's unacceptable. And by
Or we
the
just
way, if I
not-
didn't
we should have
go
just
in,
not
now
done
they
it.
like to complain. It's hard for them to complain. With that military is so incredible, but they like to complain. So let's assume I didn't go in. I was like every other president. Oh no, let them kill people. Let them get an atomic weapon.
That's your administration
let them
talking
get
to you, Trump.
a nuclear weapon. That can destroy
Misinformation.
the world. So let's assume I didn't go in. They'd say, he should be going in. These are the worst people.
That's true.
Since the
If he didn't
passage
go
of
in,
the Unaffordable
the
Care Act,
Democrats would
sometimes
say that he
referred
needs
to
to go
as
in. Like
Obamacare,
whatever Trump does,
named after
the Dems will be
Barack
against
Hussein
it.
Obama. Have you heard of him? Big insurance companies have gotten rich with our government giving them hundreds of billions of dollars as their stock prices soared up to 1,700%. Under my plan, I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give the money directly to the people so that they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a lower cost, Dr. Oz. Okay?
Hope to see it. I hope everything he's saying is going to be true.
Trillions of dollars a year, literally trillions, go to insurance companies, and you get rotten health care. Obamacare is a loser. It was meant for the insurance companies, and the insurance companies totally control the Democrats, not the Republicans. Just over 1 year ago, we inherited
Who
a
controls
mess,
both the
a
Republicans
floundering
and Democrats,
economy,
though, Trump?
Wide open borders, the worst inflation ever, crime, chaos everywhere. Today, just a short time later, look, we've been there for 1 year. We have the most secure border in U.S. history. The flow of fentanyl across our border is down by 59%. We get it better. The murder rate just saw its single largest drop ever recorded, the lowest in 125 years.
I wonder if he's going to bring up mass deportations.
Before he was born.
He hasn't mentioned mass deportations
And that's
one
despite
time yet.
The fact that we have a lot of people that shouldn't have been allowed in here that are murderers. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising. The economy is roaring back. And America is respected again, perhaps respected like never before. Every single day of my administration, with the help of the great people of Kentucky, yeah, I love Kentucky. We will keep on working, and we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win.
Yeah, it's
And
all great
together,
Trump rally rhetoric, but
We will make America powerful again, front row Joe. We will make America wealthy again. We
Crypto.
will make America healthy again. We will make America strong, strong again, strong. We will make America proud again.
let's do it.
We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Kentucky. Thank you.
And so that was
Thank you very
the
much.
statement from Trump tonight
Thank you
on the
very much.
Iran war, naval ships, sleeper cell threats, and all of these things. Operation Epic Fury.
Kentucky as he takes his
And that's
messaging
everything for
on the
that.
road, talking-
And I also wanted to go to Twitter X, make sure we're still streaming here. If you're watching, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Hold on, just got to reconnect this real fast. Okay, we're all good to go. Okay, so I wanted to go and hit on some of the bigger stories that were happening in the algorithm, some of the things that I had bookmarked, and then we'll check the breaking news and some of the newer news. So these were just some of the stories that I had bookmarked earlier. 5 hours ago, after researching the type of weapon reportedly used tonight, instead it is believed to be a directed energy weapon, DEW, specifically an advanced generation of non-nuclear electromagnetic bombs. So this was released by, I believe, the United States on Iran. This is correct. Crazy. So if you don't know what a DEW is, or a direct energy weapon, basically it is a high-power laser beam from outer space, or from some kind of deployment mechanism at sky levels, obviously. So lots of big things we have here. Brian Krasenstein, not a huge fan of his account, by the way, but he does post important info sometimes. The Defense Department has just planned all photographs at press briefing because Pete Hegseth thinks that some of the photos of him at press conference are unflattering. The irony that these are the same people who say that the military has to be more extreme and masculine, and that wokeness destroyed it before. What a loser. So again, that was from Brian Krasenstein. But apparently, yeah, they didn't want the photos getting out. Some kind of photos, some bad photos, something about that with Hegseth, whatever that is going to be. Maybe we'll hear more about it. Maybe you already know about it. President Trump says he has a goal of removing Thomas Massie. Yeah, we heard all about that, didn't we? Trump definitely doesn't like Massie because Massie is trying to release the Epstein files. He's pushing for that, among Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I also do believe is a traitor, though, to some small degree. But I still think that it's... Yeah, Trump's been going too hard on those guys for sure. But he's trying to cover his own ass. Justin, the CEO of the $25 trillion U.S. banking industry declared war on Bitcoin market structure in front of thousands of bankers. We don't support an uneven playing field. They're scared, and they should be. Whatever this means.
Without having to comply with bank-like rules. Or even worse, push for a regulatory framework that puts consumers, the financial system, and the economy at risk. We can't let that happen.
Interesting.
Let me reiterate.
So it looks like Bitcoin's on the frying table. Bitcoin versus XRP Ripple these days in 2026 is what it's looking like. James Fishback, Make America Great Again for whom?
For APAC, its donors, and Benjamin.
So I like James Fishback. He's been running for governor of Florida, and I hope he wins. I think he's been doing a great job.
Make America great again for whom? For billionaire hedge fund managers? Hell no. Make America great again for APAC, its donors, and Benjamin Netanyahu? Hell no.
And that's what I wanted to hear from Trump. That is like the old Trump. That's the 2016 Trump we should have heard about. And that's the rhetoric I want to hear from Republicans today. That's really what should be the conversation. Dan Patrick said, if anyone is not going to do business with Israel, then Texas will not do business with them. So again, we have more Israel first people here. Texas cares more about Israelis than it does Texans. That was from the Stu Peters Network. Whether or not you guys watch his show, go check it out. But that was from him.
Senate Bill 29, I remember. And we passed the anti-BDS law in 2017 in Texas because if anyone's not going to do business with Israel, then Texas will not do business with them. And when we speak in Texas, it means something.
Look at this guy's face. Even he's confused. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here in the suit.
Something.
He's like, what?
Because we are
Look at all these people.
The largest economy in the world. And when we say to a company, you can't do business here, if you turn your back on Israel, it costs them hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. So when we swing the stick in Texas, it gets attention.
These people need to be voted out permanently. These are spies. These are traitors. There used to be a way to handle traitors in this country. There used to be a way that we handled people who wanted to, again, like give all of their fealty and loyalty to another country. It's absolutely insane. Trump completely and totally endorses Jake Paul for political office. No, he didn't. That was more of a joke, I think, but still. I guess it was an endorsement. Sad. I don't know why anybody would do that. Jake Paul. Come on, man. Not voting for that. Honestly, I haven't stopped laughing. This is from Kosher.
Just went up yesterday.
So Trump put this up.
And it's very cool.
Total trolling the enemy. Pissing them off.
Great. Just went up yesterday.
Gonna get them riled up and coming over here. This is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This was a little bit weird. We're not getting rid of processed foods. Now RFK Jr. says we're not getting rid of processed foods. This is America, not a nanny state. But we are going to tell you what's in your food and what's healthy and what's not. So, okay, so that changed quickly. Make America healthy again. Maha turned into, oh, well, make America healthy again, but we're not going to be a nanny state and we're still going to have processed foods.
But it's all going to be driven by individual choice. And, you know, the companies don't like it, but at this point, we have a president in power who is not concerned about their political power. And even the ones that gave him a lot of money are I think, surprised and discontent at the kind of regulatory reforms that we're doing right now.
What? Like,
and by the way,
that's
we're
crazy.
Not going to get rid of ultra-processed foods.
Important statement there.
And by the way, we're not going to get rid of ultra-processed foods. You're an American. We're not a nanny state.
Look at the way the rhetoric has changed in the Trump administration. Now we're not going to have non-processed foods.
They're going to be able to do that. We're going to tell them exactly what the cost is of doing that. And we're going to tell them the foods that are healthy and the foods that are not. But it's all going to be driven by individual choice. And
wow, that changed fast.
Companies don't like it, but at this point, we have a president in power who is not concerned about their political power. And even
yeah, crazy. Wow. So I guess we are going to have processed foods. More to look forward to there. Less healthy America. Make America less healthy, I guess, is the new motto for RFK. Okay. The U.S. just dropped a bomb. It's only used once before in history. Nobody else is talking about what it just erased. The U.S. deployed Moab on an Iranian missile factory, only seconds operational use ever. So there it is one more time. Look at that mushroom cloud. Crazy. World War III. Are you enjoying it? Are you ready for the fight? There it is. Satan's tree. Take a look at it. The mushroom cloud. This is what we're doing to other nations in our spare time. Instead of giving that money to the American taxpayer, let's spend it on Israel's wars.
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. I mean, for them, it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
Trump almost looks like he doesn't know what to say. Like, he almost looks like he doesn't know, like, how to respond to this situation. Like, a lot of the time he's asked. And the way you can tell is he'll start to get agitated with the questions. You'll see this a lot. Israeli settlers have poured cement over water sources used by Palestinians in the West Bank. All of this is done to make life impossible for Palestinians and drive them off their land. So again, this is Israel pouring concrete over their water sources of Palestinians so they can't have any water. Easily they can do this in your local town. This is terrorism. This is how you starve a nation. This is pure terrorism. Very, very scary stuff. It's so crazy that my channel doesn't get more views, because if it did, people would be thinking differently watching these videos with me. Instead, the videos that get all of the attention and notoriety are the cooking videos on YouTube, right? But you try to give people some info, and then you just get shut down by the algorithm. Breaking, this is Beirut right now. Israel is massively bombing Lebanon's capital in the middle of the night, deliberately wiping out apartment block after apartment block. Civilian homes, residential buildings, no justification, just pure terror. So again, this is Beirut. Again, Israel is massively bombing Lebanon. Don't forget. Turn this down. Don't forget that Israel has also launched white phosphorus bombs in the skies of Lebanon. And again, this is sulfuric acid. This is a war crime. This is a humanitarian crime. Okay, so these are things that are so evil and so shocking to the conscience that it's not even allowed in war, according to the Jews who created the Geneva Convention, right? So according to their own laws, they violated them in many, many respects. But that's happening in Beirut right now. Lebanon is being settled by Israel. They are actively doing that. The media is not really talking about that.
We've won. Let me say, we've won. You know, you never like to say too
Trump
early.
declaring we've won the Iran war.
First hour it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names at general. Sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling
Yeah.
off. I didn't like any of them.
And so we already watched this.
Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name.
Like, it makes you really wonder, like, who is surrounded by Trump advising him? Like, it's totally, like, Trump has to, like, know nothing about he must have, like, zero access to Twitter X or any of these different platforms. He must have absolutely no access. We've seen videos of Trump sitting there cross-armed and basically telling his team, his media team, what to say, right? What to actually type and text. So we know that Trump really isn't even on social media. He pretty much has advisors telling him what's going on all of this. So breaking news from Alex Barnicoat. I've been telling people to follow his account because they've been trying to ban him for all of the pretty fast intel he's been dropping on the Israel-Iran war and then a lot of the China movements as well. So let's take a listen.
Some breaking news. We just found out that China knew the war in Iran was going to start up to 2 months before it actually did. And because of that, we just found out that in January and February of this year, the 2 months before this war started, China imported 16% more oil into their country than previously. And there's a reason for that. Obviously, in response to this war in Iran, China knew this was going to happen too. The oil supply around the world has been cut off. Iran has shut the Strait of Hormuz, and many Middle Eastern countries have stopped production of oil and gas. But it seems that China knew about this and they were preparing for it. As I said, it's now been confirmed that China imported over 16% more gas and oil during January and February than in previous months. But it's worth knowing this probably wasn't just a coincidence. In fact, there's been a Chinese intelligence ship in the Persian Gulf off the coast of Iran for over 3 months now. And I actually made a video on that in January. And in that video, I said that if a war is going to start, China probably knows about it months before we do because of that intelligence ship. And it seems, judging by that report that's come out today, I was completely right on that. And China has been preparing for this war for the last 2 months. And so China has much bigger stockpiles of gas and oil than they normally do because of this war and because they knew this war was going to happen. This here is a great example of countries and their leadership knowing stuff before the public do, which is why we're making such a big deal out of this, but in reality, China's been preparing for it. Stuff like this is fascinating. It's stuff that you wouldn't find out about if you didn't leave me a follow, because we do a lot of independent, investigative journalism, which you just won't find out about. And so, leave me a follow, because I cover all this.
That's Alex Barnacote on X. Follow him. Lots of good info, lots of good intelligence. Remember when Trump told the truth about Lindsey Graham? Again, totally different guy today, isn't he? Let's listen to this. This comes from Owen Schroyer's account.
For instance, this guy, Lindsey Graham. You have a guy, he's one of the dumbest human beings I've ever seen. He may be, he runs against me, okay? He runs against me for president. He starts off at 6%, and he hits me. And I start, although I did give out his phone number, I mean, that's really good. But anyway, he starts hitting me, saying vicious things, and now he starts going down. He goes to 5%, 4%. He ends up at zero. Here's a guy.
Now he talks pretty highly of Lindsey Graham. Why is that?
The presidency, he's at zero. He leaves in disgrace, in my opinion. I think he's disgraced. He comes here, he thinks this is going to be good. He had like 2 points here, and I had 42, right? I was at 42. He's a sitting United States Senator from South Carolina. He's at 2%. I saw him on television this morning, and I think he lost it. He's saying, Donald Trump, he couldn't even talk. He was shaking. The hatred. They say, what do you think of Donald Trump? Oh, he went crazy. The guy is a nut job. I mean, what the...
He is. He is a nut job. Lindsey Graham is crazy.
Honestly, I don't want to...
The same guy who's been being praised by Trump and the same guy who's getting us into the war with Iran right now and just seething, just like rubbing his hands together, loving every second of it.
His endorsement, I don't want anything to do with him. And his thinking, he says, I know so much. He knows about the military. I could push him over with a little thimble. Boom. And I look at a guy like Lindsey Graham. Then I hear his theory on the war. You'll be in there forever. You'll be in there. And you'll end up starting World War III with a guy like that, too. We don't want World War III.
And here we are. World War III. Wow. Did Trump... See, Trump knows all about these people. Knew all about all these people from the beginning. And the question is, it's like we've just lost everybody that's like Trump in the White House. So now he's surrounded by these sharks, these Lindsey Grahams, these warmongers. And so now he's basically forced to adhere to their position.
Yeah. Okay, we don't want world. Do we agree with that? We don't want World War. But I watched him on Fox today. I have never seen a guy that, I don't think I've ever seen a guy so totally out of control. They mentioned my name. He went literally crazy this morning. So he got out of the race, Bill. He was at, is this correct? He was at zero. And he still didn't want to get out of the race. You know, I often say these guys that are zero, why do they stay? Wouldn't you sort of, I think I'd crawl in a corner and I'd
Seriously.
hide. I would just sort of put out a release. I've left the race. I wouldn't even give a news conference. I'd be too embarrassed. But anyway, I think he's a disgrace. I think Lindsey Graham is a disgrace.
He is.
And I think you have one of the worst representatives of any representative in the United States. And I don't think
Shame
he
on
should
any
run.
of these politicians getting us into
this
this
state,
war.
Remember, I was at 42 and he was at 2 when he was running. In this state I'm talking about. He was at zero nation. I mean, the guy was at zero nationwide. I don't think he could run for dog catcher in this state and win again. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, and so that's interesting to hear Trump's take on Lindsey Graham back in 2016. And now here we are today. He's like sitting next to Trump giving all of the war advice, and Trump is backing him up. Why is that? Right? This was sad. A Gaza doctor breaks down after realizing the patient he had treated for 5 years died on the operating table after he was forced to perform an amputation without anesthesia due to Israel blocking medical supplies during the genocide. So again, we understand that all of these videos are propaganda to some extent. We're not denying that. What we are stating here is we're trying to determine the truth and what's happening, because Israel right now is under mass censorship. Their people are not really allowed to release videos of what's happening in the city. Pretty much the only people who can is the Israeli press. War Room Archives posted a video of this speech from a drill sergeant from the Marines. The enemy is not 10 feet tall. He's 4'2". He has short reach, and you're going to kill him. And so he's got a big chaw on the lip. And so to me, it's just like I look at this and it's like I couldn't imagine serving right now in Iran knowing that I'm going to be fighting and potentially dying for the state of Israel. For this.
Fire! Gonna go! Okay, with that said,
Start it over here.
The tactical task to breathe fire has now been issued. Good to go. You will breathe fire day in and day out for the next 2 months. You will breathe fire in your sleep. You will feel fatigue. You will feel fear. You will feel happiness. You will feel regret.
Feel
you
happiness.
Will feel sadness. At the end of the day, you will continue to breathe fire. Good to go. Okay, with that said, you will take the operational instinct, and here's what I tell you to do, and it's almost one of those impossible tasks, but you gotta fight for it every day.
What? Why are we doing this?
You gotta know what happens before it happens. You gotta stay methodical on the field. You gotta stay clear-headed on the field. You gotta work any resource as required to move like this, move methodical, and ensure you always have mutual support in position to effect the fight and bring fires as required to fucking kill the enemy. Kill the enemy! Kill the enemy! Kill the enemy!
Man. This is so LARPer. It's like the old... It's like this isn't the time for this. This needs to be redirected towards a different enemy, in my opinion.
Who need to be protected. Getting pit on the battlefield is
It's going to be a brutal war.
But don't ever forget this.
He spits his chaw.
Obligated to protect and serve the Marine on the left and right flank of you 24/7. Good to go. Don't ever forget it. You will always be supported.
Yeah, so that's what our guys are pretty much having to sit through in Iran right now. Wishing the best for our troops. Anybody who has to deploy, obviously, God bless you. Hope you're safe. We wish the best for the troops. Hopefully they all come home safe. But 150 plus casualties already in this Iran war. And for something, there's like, what's the reason? Nobody was talking about fighting Iran. Like, since when? You know, since a few months ago? Come on. Nobody. And I mean, like, pretty much nobody in America wants to be in this war.
And you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both.
No, we watched this clip already. Yeah, Trump basically says, we got into a war with Iran, so that way we wouldn't have to get into a war with Iran. Now blaming Hegseth, Jared, Witkoff, and Rubio for his decision to attack Iran. Let's see.
Even Jared and Pete,
Start this over here.
The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And
But yeah, see, but then Trump basically states, like, he basically states that he was the one who greenlit the operation right at the end there, though, right? Because he's like, oh, I told them I don't think it's a great idea. It's like, no, you need to stand up to them and just say no.
Blow up
And then if they say no, while you're the president, then you expose them. You wring them out to dry to the masses. You make people realize that there's no fealty or loyalty from these people. You know, don't fight your own battles.
Russia just did something incredibly
Let
smart
the people
in
fight your
response to the
battles
war
when
in
you're the
Iran.
president.
And they're providing Iran with intelligence, which Iran is using to blow up American warships. But at the same time, they're helping America negotiate with Iran to try and have peace. And so why is Russia doing this? Well, Russia is actually benefiting a huge amount from this war in the Middle East right now.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to know how they're benefiting. But first, in response to the war in Ukraine, a lot of Western countries, Europe and the US, stopped buying Russian oil. And they also got other countries to stop buying Russian oil. And because of that, Russia lost a lot of demand for their oil because no country would buy it anymore. But last week, when this war in the Middle East started, Russia spotted an opportunity. Russia realized that Iran has shut the Strait of Hormuz, and they've caused a lot of other countries in the Middle East to stop producing oil and natural gas. And not only is there now less supply of natural gas and oil, but there's also a higher demand from other countries because they want to be sure that they're going to be okay. And so Russia has realized that they're one of the only countries in the world that can substitute the amount of oil and gas that has now been lost out from the Middle East. And so Russia is about to start making a lot of money. Russia is now in negotiations with the US to start selling their oil to other countries. Before this war, the US said that India wasn't allowed to buy Russian oil.
And who does this impact? China. So the one thing that this is good for is that, again, if we do win this war against Iran, if it ends up being a positive public sentiment, this actually could bring in a lot of money for the U.S. economy. But we're going to have to win it all. It's like all or nothing, kind of.
The US just allowed it in response to the war. The US said they've done that to, quote, enable oil to keep flowing in the global market. And so Russia actually has an incentive to keep this war going. They're tricking the US into thinking they're negotiating with Iran so that the US can keep fighting and keep pushing towards peace. But on the other hand, they're providing Iran with intelligence of American warships, troops, and locations, etc., so that Iran can continue to attack the US, so that the US keeps fighting. It's a full-on loop. And Russia here is positioning themselves in a great way. Of the longer this war goes on, the more demand there is for oil, and the less supply there is of oil.
And don't forget about Ukraine. When they end up winning this Ukraine war, they're going to take a lot of that land, and then they're also going to take a lot of the lithium mines.
And so they're going to completely get rid of the sanctions that were placed against them in response to the war in Ukraine. And so Russia is keeping the war going. And in doing that, they're making possibly hundreds of billions of dollars and having sanctions against them lifted. This is a big deal, and Russia is being very smart economically with this. Morally, maybe not, but
And again, give him a follow. Alex Barnacote is his name. Representative James Comer reveals that Jeffrey Epstein's accountant has now identified 5 clients who paid money directly to him. This was posted 7 hours ago by the Shadow of Ezra. First client was the Rothschilds. Second client was Les Wexner. Third client was Leon Black. Fourth was Glenn Dubin. And 5 was Stephen Sinofsky. So these were the 5 individuals who were listed to be as clients for Epstein. Or not just clients, but like also basically texting him to his direct number, paying him.
We completed 2 full hours of depositions. I would say we are possibly at the halfway point. It could last more than 4 hours, but he confirmed there were 5 clients that paid money to Epstein, and that was Les Wexner, Glenn Dubin, Stephen Sinofsky, the Rothschilds, and Leon Black.
Interesting.
We already deposed Wexner, and we're going to be deposing Leon Black very soon.
Yep, so that's been happening. Those stories are coming out. Again, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. The dead drop, the verified Ets account, Tim BS spaceships with 1,645 posts on plasma propulsion went silent on February 27th, the same day Major General McCasland vanished. We pulled the archive. The accountant's 1998 hand-drawn schematic claims a sighting from a cockpit of a KC-135 at 150,000 feet. The author identifies ionized helium by sight and reference lab experiments by name. The page underneath, we used image enhancement tools to reveal a reverse-engineered component list: Marx generator, linear accelerator, magnetic compressor, helium 3-ion propellant. Every component maps directly to the observed phenomenon on the page. McCasland commanded the exact laboratories that do this work. The Sentinel Network's forensic extraction is live. Read the full analysis here. So if you're really curious about what this is pretty much telling you a lot of some secret stuff that you're not supposed to know. We'll just put it that way. So go look more into that if you're interested. The FBI has warned numerous police departments in the state of California that Iran may seek to retaliate for recent U.S. attacks on potentially launching offensive drones targeting the West Coast. So yeah, the West Coast is now under heavy risk of drone attacks by what could be either Iranian sleeper cells or it could be Mossad. Honestly, it could be anybody, so just keep your eyes open today. So yes, so more kind of double talk here. As Donald Trump has already stated that we're going to end this war, that the war is over, here are the other statements that Trump's making just before his White House statements.
They've lost their Navy, they've lost their Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all, they have no radar, their leaders are gone.
7 hours ago, this was
and
posted.
We can do a lot worse to one another. We're leaving certain things that if we take them out, and we could take them out by this afternoon, in fact, within an hour, they literally would never be able to build that country back.
So yeah, now we're getting a little bit of double talk from Trump. Insane footage as Hezbollah fires 100 rockets into northern Israel. All residents ordered to stay at shelters. That was only 6 hours ago. So a lot of strikes hitting Israel. Again, Israel's been getting hit hard for the past few nights. It looks like these strikes took place in northern Israel. Allegedly, this is supposed to be Hezbollah who released these 100 rockets. See, this is all fun for all of us to watch now, but it's like, what happens when this is happening above our roofs? That's what everybody should be thinking about right now. What happens when this happens over our rooftops? Trump on withdrawing from Iran. Another statement suggesting that we are going to be in the war longer.
I'm not going to answer that, but we have hit them harder than virtually any country in history has been hit.
So.
And we're not finished yet.
We're not finished yet, Trump says. We're not finished yet. Again, this is a video of Pete Hegseth's Defense Department reportedly buying $22 million worth of luxury steak and lobster. The purchase was part of a larger end-of-year spending frenzy of its immense budget. Unrelated footage of Hegseth devouring a steak in New York City 2024. That's a lot of propaganda, but still kind of true to think about. $22 million, you know, if that is true, it's like $22 million for a steak. And then it's like Trump's in this speech that we just heard saying, okay, well, I'm going to give the American people $1,200, $22 million for a dinner for soldiers, so that way we can go and fight this war for Israel. It's like, come on. Just not right. Israeli settler leader Danilia Wise says that Israel is ready to settle Lebanon and the entire promised land. Pure colonial madness.
We will settle Lebanon. We will settle the entire promised land. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it hasn't ended. So this is the war that's happening. Lebanon, Gaza wasn't enough. So now it's got to be Lebanon too, right? It's got to be Lebanon. It's got to be Syria. It's got to be Iraq. It's got to be Iran. It's got to be Turkey now. We're hearing that Turkey is all of a sudden like this major threat to Israel. Come on. Yeah, right. New massive mushroom-shaped explosion in Qud City of Iran following the U.S.-Israeli airstrike. I think we already covered some of that footage earlier. Yeah, this is the former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett saying that Israel may have to wage a war against Turkey. So exactly what I had just said. So take a look at this video. Listen to this.
Let me just ask you whether there's a risk of further confrontation with Turkey based on comments that you said in the past.
Well, we need to ensure that Erdogan doesn't create a new alliance of radical Islam Sunni version, meaning...
So all of a sudden, Turkey is like a target. Like, we were talking about Iran, we were talking about Gaza and Palestine, now we were talking about Hamas and Hezbollah and ISIS, now it's Turkey and the Kurds. Okay.
Axis between himself, Julani, Qatar, and Hamas. We've been facing for many decades the Shiite radical Islam, and I hope that Turkey doesn't choose to foment terror and...
Just be reminded, this is all for the greater Israel project. This is the strip of land that they want to take from Israel all the way up to Ukraine, all the way to Turkey. They want this entire greater Israel project, even to the Nile. They want it to go to the pyramids, essentially. And that'll be the greater Israel. And they're basically, this is an entire intelligence operation behind the Mossad where they want to essentially conquer 7 regimes, change 7 regimes within 5 years, and they are succeeding greatly.
Islamism in its power. It's up to Turkey ultimately. If they seek peace, we definitely want peace. But if they try and surround us with terror, we will not sit idle.
Also strange that we haven't heard from Netanyahu, and there are rumors that Netanyahu was killed in a strike with one of Israel's other leaders. So maybe we'll be hearing some news about that. Who knows? Maybe that'll be some big news in the future. But we haven't really heard from Netanyahu. Where is Netanyahu? Right? We've seen a couple statements of what they said was Netanyahu and said that he's fine and okay, but I don't really know. So again, we haven't really seen much of him. U.S. and Israel just dropped a bomb. Okay, we already covered that. Christian village attacked by Israelis. So again, I'm just saving all of these videos because you're not going to see these videos anywhere else. You're not going to see these videos anywhere else.
Residents of West Bank's last Christian majority town of Taibeh filmed as armed Israeli settlers
So evil.
around their most sacred site, the ruins of the 5th century Church of St. George. The footage, which was shared with the Telegraph, shows men approaching with leaf blowers, appearing to use them to fan the flames closer to the church.
Crazy.
Another video that was shared with us shows the settlers.
How am I not getting viewers? It's so crazy. We're covering such a big story right now. We cover so many big stories, and I got like one person listening. That's insane. That's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you would think we'd get like more views, but no, it's cooking channels. Cooking channels get all the views. Instead, you know, when we're trying to talk about real issues happening in the world, when we're talking about real war, real geopolitics, oh no, we don't get views on our channel. Come on. Isn't it just crazy? We cover so much hot news, and like our channel just never gets views. It's crazy.
On July 7th, residents of West Bank's last Christian majority town of Taibeh filmed as armed Israeli settlers set ablaze around their most sacred site, the ruins of the 5th century Church of St. George. The footage, which was shared with the Telegraph, shows men approaching with leaf blowers, appearing to use them to fan the flames closer to the church. Another video that was shared with us shows the settlers, largely young men, watching on as locals desperately tried to put out the flames.
These are Zionists taking and settling on somebody else's land, and then at the same time burning down churches, Christian churches.
Logical sites. Witnesses who were there told us that they returned again in the evening, and then on July 8th and July 11th to light more fires around the church.
Huh.
Other footage shows locals being forced to watch as settlers armed with guns.
This is who we're sending our U.S. troops to die for.
Set fire to olive trees, the lifeblood of the local economy, which relies on olive oil production. Taibeh, which is northeast of Ramallah, felt tense on arrival. The church leaders, farmers, and other local residents we spoke to spoke of how dramatically the violence and intimidation had increased in recent
We should be
months,
fighting the state of Israel, not Iran. Israel is the greatest threat compared to Iran, for sure, in my opinion.
and how they were powerless to
Wow.
stop it. Outside of the town, we also met with the Cabernet family that has for several years now been targeted by settlers. On June 25th, the family recounted how they were praying when dozens of settlers broke into their home. CCTV footage shared with the Telegraph shows masked attackers setting fire to their cars and then trying to burn their homes.
Yep. And nobody's watching our channel to see this. It's insane. Insane. People are watching cooking videos, but they're not watching like this kind of stuff happening.
Settler attacks on Palestinians are on the rise across the whole occupied West Bank. There were more than 750 incidents of settler violence against Palestinians in the first half of this year. But for the traumatized residents of Taibeh, they're fearful of what is yet to come.
And this isn't just Hamas Palestinians here, by the way. This isn't just like a bunch of Hamas, Hezbollah Palestinians. These are Christian Palestinians. These are the different sects of the Palestinians who were peaceful people.
Father Bashir, the local priest, told us that this was just the beginning. It was a message that if they attack our sacred site, they can attack anything of ours.
Crazy. Crazy. And they're going to do it to us. First chance they get. Nobody's talking about it. A few minutes ago, Iranian drones struck Oman's largest oil storage facilities at the port of Salalah in Oman. Again, so that's a lot of the news that's happening in the algorithm today. Oh, also, that's some big news. 6 years ago today, COVID-19 was officially declared a global pandemic as countries around the world shut down in an effort to slow the spread of the virus. That is actually really interesting timing. That is when all of this happened. And here we had Trump's statement today, his speech. Pretty weird, pretty big. Ongoing U.S. military investigation determines that the U.S. is responsible for the deadly Tomahawk missile strike on Iranian girls' elementary school. It was the result of a targeted mistake, per the New York Times. A lot more Israeli news there, a lot more information here. So, yeah, the X algorithm is pretty, that's kind of what's been happening today. And as we look at the breaking news, any of the newest posts, let's see what people are talking about before we really check out here. Last 5 minutes, I guess. Trump says he's been briefed on Iranian sleeper cells inside the U.S. We know where most of them are. We got our eyes on all of them, I think. So, again, this is after Trump's statement. We have not seen this slip yet. Let's hear what Trump had to say. This was after his big speech.
They try to hit us back. Have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know...
Trump, you've been president for 10 years. You could have closed the border by now, but you didn't. You could have closed Minneapolis, but you took ICE out. You extracted ICE, and now it's literally just for the protesters.
Where most of them are, we've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst.
See, that's when you know a politician is pretty much screwed, is when they start blaming their previous opponent from the previous administration. That's when you know it's like, oh, we don't have an answer. We don't really know what to say, so we're going to blame it on the last person.
President in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing to watch.
So that was Trump. Again, that was only half an hour ago. So while I was streaming here, Trump had made that statement. That was some of the bigger statements that were made. This guy has been really making an effort to silence freedom of speech. And when I say that, he is a Jew who has been trying to suppress the conversation or anybody questioning the current war or the state of Israel. So let's listen to these statements. Sounds like it's a fresh statement. Let's take a look.
The scourge of anti-Semitism must be defeated anywhere and everywhere that it exists. As we just heard before, from holding universities accountable to using laws within the Justice Department, existing laws, to hold and prosecute crimes against the Jewish community, from preventing people from working and going to worship in their shuls. And then, as was touched on very briefly,
I don't know.
but a visa vetting program that we are just beginning now to see the results.
So I think, again, Randy Fine has been making a lot of statements on this too. Randy Fine's this Jew who works for the U.S. Congress, and he really is just, the guy has been caught on camera, like voting for other people, just totally corrupt, totally should be in jail. But we have so many of these people that are trying to suppress people even questioning the state of Israel, because anybody who questions the state of Israel is suddenly called an anti-Semite. And it's just a way of silencing people. It's like calling somebody a racist or a Nazi or whatever word, a bigot. It's to get people to shut up and stop questioning the narrative. So they're going to attack and demonize anybody who questions the state of Israel.
Trump is my favorite.
So more crazy statements from Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation.
He sounds drunk.
We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
He literally sounds like he's been drinking.
Trump is my favorite.
What is with this? Like, does anybody else see this reaction? Look at this guy. He's like so happy that America is going to die from this war. Evil laugh.
Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Like, delusional. These people should be in a gulag with the key locked and them never allowed to leave. That is what I would do. That is what Trump should do. So I don't know what that is. Thousands attend the funeral of Catholic priest killed by Israeli strike in Lebanon. Yeah, very sad. People are celebrating the priest who was killed by the Israeli, our greatest allies as Christians, apparently, who love to kill us. Prepare yourself. This footage is deeply shocking. This was the reality of what Israel has done to Gaza. Yeah, look at that. That's Gaza. That's Gaza that you're looking at in this video. That's America if we really continue going the way we're going. This is what Israel did to the Palestinians, of whom they were living with for how long? How many decades? This is what they did to their neighbors, their own neighbors, the people who took them in, the Jewish people. They took the Jewish people in, the Palestinians, and this is how the Palestinians were repaid in Gaza. And I understand the different religious sects and the different issues with the religions and the theologies, but ultimately, the point that needs to be made is that this was their neighbors. This was the Palestinians' neighbors, the Jews, and this is what the Jews did to the Palestinians. And it's like, you look at America today, and it's like, do we not have the same kind of thing happening? We're giving these people refuge and allowing them political positions in office. And what do? They abuse it and try to kill us. Gavin Newsom statements.
Working with the Office of Emergency Service, but also working locally to make sure we transmit any information that we have received, and we're aware of that, which has been reported, I think, by ABC7. We're aware of that information, and we transfer that information in real time to our local partners.
Sheesh.
Drone issues have been always top of mind, and we've assembled some work groups specifically around those concerns. But that's all I'll share at the moment. I have nothing more insightful.
Crazy.
Just what's been reported and how we're transmitting what we know to our local partners, which is critical.
So that's kind of the news on what Newsom had to say about the alleged Iranian drones and sleeper cells, which I think absolutely do exist. They're going to be coming out. Big breaking news. Nexalities have reportedly attacked India-Israel drone facility in Delhi, triggering a massive explosion and fire, which had engulfed the entire complex. Sources suggest at least 50 workers, including Indian and Israeli personnel, have been killed, and as the flames and thick smoke continue to rise from the site. A little bit of little Alex Jones update. The king of syndicated talk show radio.
The panic button about the Iran war.
He's been kind of glazing Trump a little bit, kind of defending Trump too much, but that's okay. We still love Alex Jones.
11 days ago, this started. That the administration was being set up. That they'd block the Strait of Hormuz. That the regime wouldn't fall. That's what the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff warned Trump about. It's what Eric Prince said publicly. These are military experts. I don't like that, Lewis. All these posters are saying, why are you siding with the Muslims? I'm not doing that. I'm siding with reality. Plus, every time we go over there and blow up their countries, they then shoot refugees here. But
Alex Jones is so right here.
Says, no, it could be sensational, but overall it's true what Jones is saying. Sensational. This war is sensational. The downside is insane.
He's one of the only people saying
ago,
this.
would not go.
A lot of people have been saying that he's been glazing Trump and like being too easy on Trump. I don't know. I mean, I think he's covering the issues pretty fairly. I think he's covered the Muslim issue fairly, the Israeli issue fairly, and he's saying what's pretty much true. Like, both of these sects are coming over to the United States to conquer us as a nation. That's what's happening. It's not like, it's like both. It's both.
Well, Trump said 4 days. Didn't work. Then he said it'll take 20 years. We'll keep fighting. We're going to destroy you. Now he wants out of it. Declared victory. That's good. Declare victory. Leave. That's my advice 11 days ago. That's the facts. I stand with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and others. And not all you armchair quarterbacks, they'll tell you this stuff, don't know what you're talking about. The Trump recovery won't work if there's inflation.
Right.
These oil prices go another month, they'll derail that, which is what the big banks want to kill Trump's recovery. They used the COVID lockdowns to kill his last recovery. Now they're using war.
Right.
Wake up and grow up and be serious.
And not a lot of people are even saying that, but that's absolutely happening. That's absolutely true. So that's pretty much it. I mean, we've covered most of the biggest clips. Looks like I'm starting to see some repeat clips in the algorithm here. So with that being said, we'll call it a night for tonight. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you got some value out of it. Here's my take. Sorry about that. I skipped away there for a minute. My take on the situation is that we should not be at war with Iran. My take on the situation is that we need to, we need to be thinking about the future of America first. And what that means is securing our own borders first, securing our own economy first, securing our own theology first. What kind of country are we? Are we a Jewish country or are we a Christian country? These are questions that need to be decided before we can ever think about going to a war. Because it's like, if we don't have alliances that are actually trustworthy, if we don't have alliances that are actually worth keeping, then what is the point of having them at all? And so when you look at Israel getting us involved in all of this war and Trump backing it completely, but then you go back and you know that Trump was not running on any of this. So there's two possibilities that exist. Either Trump is completely lying to everybody, including his own base, and totally fine with it, and that he's already been working with the Democrats. And listen, Trump agreed, and he put his hand up early on in politics and said, when he was asked at the Republican GOP debates, they asked, would any one of you vote for a Democrat and not a Republican? And Trump rose his hand that he would vote for a Democrat. Now, why does this matter? Because it tells us that the people around Trump, all the deep staters, all the Democrat people, well, all those people are surrounding him today, and the people who he actually had hired into his administration in 2016, they have all been fired and pushed out, and they've been compromised. And however you want to say that, basically this foreign nation of Israel and their top people, right? Epstein, Howard Lutnick, you could say that. These people are coming over to the United States, they're infiltrating politics, and they're blackmailing or bribing our politicians through donors or through these parties, these Epstein parties, these Diddy parties, whatever you want to call it. And it's 101 spy stuff. It's like read the book Spy Fail, and you'll learn all about this. You'll learn all about how the United States government has been doing this for a long time when it comes to running, counterintelligence operations, and how we lost the cybersecurity war to North Korea, really during the Obama administration. So we need to be out of the war with Iran. We love to hear Trump saying all these great things, but it's like, what is he doing? What are the actions? And the actions are what matter most. So with that being said, stay prudent, stay powerful, stay wealthy, and I'll see you next time.